Hello there, friends and family. Welcome once again to Nanaba's Kitchen. Here I am again with 3 sets of amazing soups to carry you through this winter. Keep you warm because you deserve it. I put a lot of thought into each one of these recipes, so my challenge to you is to watch the video in its entirety. Do not skip, because you might just skip that very one you'll fall head over heels in love with. Let's cook, friends. We have our evergreen seafood soup inspired by Ghanaian Ebunuebunu. So I have some fresh snapper, which I have filleted, and I'm just putting some salt, crushed white pepper, and some parsley flakes on the skin side. And then it goes into the hot pot with some olive oil. What I'm doing is just searing it. I want a really crispy skin. So the skin side goes down first, cooks for about 2 minutes, and I flip it and cook the other side, which I also seasoned with some salt, some crushed white pepper, and the parsley flakes. Done. Next, I'm going to also cook some sea scallops. So a little more olive oil goes in there, seasoned with some salt, crushed white pepper, and on the hot pot it goes. Now, these are very small scallops, so they don't take long to cook. You do not want to overcook your scallops on any occasion. They will become rubbery. So 1 minute on each side creates a perfect sear and gives you that buttery melt in your mouth texture. And that's what you want. They're done. So set them aside. We'll use them for plating later on. So the same pot, you pour some water in and begin forming the foundation of your soup. So I'm going to add some dry smoked herrings and prawns, as well as some shallots, garlic, ginger, and some smoked or roasted Serrano chilies. Add some salt. Next, crush a 1/4 teaspoon each of black peppercorns and some aniseed and add it to the pot. And then you're going to stir all those ingredients together. This is now the foundation of your soup. And the foundation ought to be strong. It needs to be bold so the structure doesn't fall apart. Hence the inclusion of all these ingredients that work harmoniously. So we've added some mushrooms because you need those earthy tones in the soup. It works very excellently. I've also added my tomato sauce. Stir it all together, cover and let it cook for 10 minutes. Now it is time to add some more seafood. We want to be forthcoming with the seafood theme. It is a seafood soup. So I've added my favorite fish of all time, grouper fish. Add any kind of seafood you love. I'm also including some mussels, as well as some shrimp or prawns. And I've left the shells on as well as the head because I'm thinking of the final product and the presentation of it. Now we're moving on to our next step. I have my spinach, which is the evergreen aspect of this soup. I have about 4 hands full of spinach with a little bit of water on the base of the pot. It goes on medium heat and cooks for about 5 minutes. That's it. And then we blanch with some ice, which immediately stops the cooking to maintain that green color. And then you want to blend till you have a smooth green juice and just pour that mixture onto your soup base, and there you have it. This soup is going to live up to its name, or should I say cook up to its name. It's going to stay nice and green, just like we want it. I'll cook for an extra 5 minutes because your soup base is already cooked. Add some chilies. I added some scotch bonnet peppers or chilies for a pop of color, and that fragrance is to die for in this recipe. And there you have it. You cook for only about 5 minutes. Your soup is done cooking. The goal is to not overcook the soup. Just look at this beauty. And add your crispy pan-seared seafood. I have my scallops, and then I also have my red snapper, and just take a look at this bite. Friends and family, we were able to pack some incredible flavors into this soup. Are you cool? Next on the menu is our hearty and robust chicken soup, inspired by the Ghanaian chicken light soup. And for this recipe, I have chicken thighs that have lost their skin, bones, and the excess fat and been cut into bite-sized pieces. So you want to pour in a little bit of olive oil into your pot on medium heat and pour in your chicken pieces, add some salt and also some diced onions, and just cook for about 2 minutes. Add your bay leaf and your thyme, and those are fresh, but if you don't have the fresh, use the dry. They are just as potent. It is now time to bring some more pizzazz to this pot by way of aromatics. So I have my alligator peppers, black peppercorns, aniseed, garlic, Serrano chilies, onion, and some ginger, which we're going to blend with some water. And the key, friends, is to get a really smooth texture. And we'll incorporate it shortly. See how we're searing this beautifully? Now we add our tomato paste. Now we want to cook all of this together. Before adding the tomato paste, we've been cooking for about 7 minutes. Add the tomato paste, cook for about 5 more minutes, and then add your mixture that you blended, all those aromatics, and add some water to it as well. Now you want to include 3 Roma tomatoes and cover the pot. Let it just do its thing on low heat setting for about 15 minutes. Go back and remove the tomatoes. The skins are nice and soft and tender, so when you blend, it'll be extra smooth. And we're gonna pour it back into the pot and let it continue to cook. Now you want to also add some water. So we're going to be adding 1.5 liters total of water. And stir everything together to combine nicely. And just continue to cook. We are now on low to medium heat. You want to just let this simmer gently. And then after about 15 minutes of adding the water, you'll add some potatoes and your mirepoix, which is a combination of your onions, your carrots, and the celery. And I leave them cut into chunks so it gives the soup body. Now this here is ginger that I have sliced thinly into discs. Now I know that ginger has a sharpness to it. It has this sharp pepperiness and bites to it, but don't worry. When it cooks, after a while, it loses most of that sharpness, leaving that floral fragrance it brings to the soup, which is absolutely lovely. And when you bite into it with all the other vegetables, it is perfect with the chicken soup. Believe me, try it, you will fall in love. Now stir everything together, continue to cook, taste for salt. If not enough, please feel free to season to perfection. And then toward the end of the cooking, why don't you throw in some basil? In Ghana, we have our chicken soup with basil in it, and it's perfect. Friends, I blinked and all the soup was gone. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's what happened. Of course it was a good thing. Can't be anything bad about that. I hope you try this recipe and fall in love, as my family and I have. Last but certainly not the least on the menu today is our ultimate vegan vegetable soup, beginning with some white kidney beans, also known as cannellini beans. So we soak it for about 2 hours first to soften them, and then we proceed to cook. So in the pot, I have my olive oil and add some leeks for that mild oniony flavor, followed by vegan kimchi and some black pepper crushed. Stir it all together and then add your beans. Because the beans has been soaking for 2 hours, they are softened and they will cook sooner. About 25 minutes is all it'll take. Now don't add any salt yet. What's going in right now is our vegetable broth, and it is no sodium vegetable broth. I have some coriander leaves or cilantro in there, as well as some Fresno chili sliced thinly. Cover it up and let it cook for about 25 minutes until the beans are nice and soft. Now the kimchi, because it's Napa cabbage that's been fermented with chili, garlic, ginger, and in this case miso paste, it has a prominent umami flavor as well as sour taste, which helps us to not miss that meat because this is vegan. So it's a very brilliant addition. I've added my mirepoix, my onions, celery, and carrots, as well as some tomatoes without the seeds, and some eggplants, as well as some white mushrooms. Please use any vegetables you love. Make sure you have enough protein in there. We're getting that from the beans and also from the mushrooms. And to finish it off, I just add a handful of some baby spinach and serve. This does not take more than 30 minutes to cook. Once the beans are softened enough, you're ready and you're done. Now, I drizzled on a little bit of fine olive oil and it was perfect. I thank you all so much for watching. As always, make it a great day and have fun, especially in that kitchen.